Well, scientists believe it's possible rainforests are home to millions of species of yet undiscovered plants, insects, other life forms. Rainforests are unlike any place on Earth.
Yeah, what makes the Amazon rainforest in Ecuador special? Dean Jacobs spent 2 months there and just returned to Omaha.
Yeah, straight from the forest floor right here. Welcome, Dean. How are you doing?
Hi, Dean.
Good. Hi.
Nice to see you again.
So tell us about this trip. What did you see? What did you do?
Well, I did a little bit of everything, and it's great to be with you guys as always. Thanks for having me back. Well, I worked my way slowly to Ecuador because I was doing some lectures on a ship for the University of Virginia and went through the Panama Canal, and I negotiated with them to let me off in Ecuador. And then I went into the Amazon rainforest. And the last time that I was in the rainforest, I made a connection with some of the people that live there, called the Achuar. They've been living there for 1,000 years. And it was a very special connection for me because it was a heart connection, I guess I would call that. And they invited me to come back, and they said they needed some support with the education materials. And I made a promise that I would try. So what I was doing is I went back in the Amazon rainforest to keep a promise, and I brought them 4 bags of school materials deep in the Amazon rainforest. Right. When I say deep, it's an hour by flight and 3 or 4 hours of walking through the jungle and going by canoe to get there.
That's incredible. So how do they sustain? Explain, and we have some pictures here. The way of life there, put it in perspective for us.
Great.
How it's different for what we might know here.
Well, first of all, they live a very simple life, but they're very, very happy. They live off the forest, and they live in an equilibrium as a relationship to the forest. So, and then they live in harmony, I guess would be the right way to describe it, how they live in the forest. And so they live a simple lifestyle, but they're very happy, which is a very important lesson for us because they don't have any stuff. They don't have indoor plumbing. They don't have indoor electricity, but they have kids that are engaged and alive with big smiles on their faces. And I think there's some important lessons for us to know about that.
What about the creatures and the climate? That's always what I'm so curious about with a rainforest.
Well, a rainforest, get this, 30% of the living species of the world are actually found in the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. And that means it's a very important place. And if we run the risk of losing that rainforest, we lose a very important ecosystem in our world. And I think personally one of the ways to help protect the rainforest is to empower the people that live there. And that's why I was bringing school materials to it, because they love the rainforest. They would tell me, you know, one of their favorite things to do is to go walking through the rainforest, because they believe spirits live in the rainforest and they have a special relationship to it. So they love it and they adore it and they admire it. And it seems like that'd be a worthwhile endeavor, a chance for us here in Nebraska to make a contribution to the Amazon rainforest.
Well, here's what I'm curious about. And this is what I envision. I envision you kind of going through the rainforest with these bags of school supplies on canoes. How'd you get all that stuff down there, and what'd you take?
Well, you know, they gave me a list of things that they needed, just basic stuff like notebooks, pencils, pens. They don't have a Walmart down the river, you know, and to get a school material in there is the same way that I went there, an hour by flight and then 3 or 4 hours of going by canoe and through the rainforest. So to get there is a challenge. And I bought the materials there. People gave me donations of money that I transformed into school materials.
And I know, by the way, he's taking more supplies, and we'll tell you about an event where you can donate yet more supplies for his next visit because he's going back very soon.
But there's some opportunities for people out there to talk to you,
to
meet you in person.
Exactly. I got coming up really soon at March 21st at Midland University in Fremont, Nebraska. I'll be doing a presentation about my trip down the Amazon that I just finished here not so long ago, 6 months exploring the Amazon River. And then at the Ulm Center coming up at the end of the month on Friday, March 29th, I'll be doing a very special presentation about my time with the Achuar. So if people want to come learn about their special way of life, that'd be a good place for them to come hear about it.
And then April 1st, he's heading back.
Yeah, I'm going back.
You're going back.
They invited me back to the rainforest, which is a great honor. And for, you know, because their stuff is not about their way of life isn't about the accumulation of stuff, but about relationships with people. And to be invited back to the rainforest is such a great honor, and I accepted that invitation to go back in.
You talk to a lot of schools when you're back. What's the reaction that you get from kids? And I guess what's your message?
Well, my message is, you know, I believe that learning isn't just facts in a box, but it's a combination of information with experience allows us to create a wisdom, to be engaged, informed people in the world to make positive choices. And the world's filled with amazing, beautiful things. And the more we connect to those things, the better positive choices we can make. Right now, I'm at the Papillion La Vista elementary schools. I'm in the middle of visiting all 14 of their schools, and this is going really, really well. And I'm having a great time visiting with these kids. They're so engaged, they're so inspired, And the Papillion La Vista Foundation, they actually supplied a grant to get me into all 14 schools.
Well, I know you've written a couple of books. We have them here today. We're running out of time here, but I'd encourage our viewers to learn more about you and your work online. It's deanjacobs.org. Beautiful photography, and then these books about travel and creatures and all the rest. Thank you, Dean, and safe travels as you head south again.
And there's a seminar with the Ochwa right there on March 29th.
That's right.
And thanks for the picture. Dean took this picture of these dolphins.
It's beautiful.
This is off South America too, right?
Yeah, right off the coast of Ecuador. I mean, it's the world's got these amazing, beautiful animals, and I think when we have a chance to see them, experience them, it remind us how precious the world we live on.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder, Dean.
You're my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Not sure what kind of coffee they serve down underneath the canopy, but we're serving Pear's Gourmet